Welcome to In the Good Company podcast. Anna Malus-Kitzman here with weekly dose of inspiration, motivation, thought provocation. Today, part 2 of my very insightful and beautiful conversation with Anna Tsui. Anna is an entrepreneur. She's a business coach. She's a mom. She's an author. She's a TikTok sensation, an Instagram sensation. And I truly believe that she helps us understand, thrive, understand energy, thrive during this intense, chaotic times we are living in. I hope you enjoyed this part 2. Again, I always try to keep my episodes short because you have so much beautiful life to create and live. So I don't want to take too much time of yours, but I hope you enjoyed this part 2. And again, thank you so much, Anna, for your wisdom, for your insights, and for sharing it with us. Enjoy.
Did I ever tell you my story about exactly that?
Yeah. No, tell me.
So one day I woke up, I was in my 20s and I was like living the best life. Okay. I had my own apartment. I had my friends. I was doing, a business. And then one day I woke up and I was like terrified. And I was so I just felt very off, and I was like, why do I feel off? And I was like, why do I feel worried? Why am I so worried about finding a husband and getting married? And I was like, this is weird. And then I was like, it's for my parents. My parents were my mom was probably worried about me, sending me all her worried energy. And then when I was sleeping, to open, right? And so I woke up and I had this almost panic attack. I was like, I need to, and so they feel it. Like it's a real thing. I absolutely agree with you. You gave her the best advice. Instead, she can just send love. She can just send oh, you have really beautiful relationships, you're having so much fun. That's so much better.
Yeah, you're taking your time. You are very conscious about it. You don't want to just choose anybody. You really are looking for something special, right? What a different thinking it is versus oh my God, there's no relation, right? Yeah, yeah. But I love that you felt it from your parents because that totally was that. Probably.
It's so real. So that is 1000% true. And I love that you're studying the Kabbalah because I remember going to a workshop a long time ago. And the one thing I got away from that workshop that I thought it was actually about the Kabbalah and mental health. I think it was very niche. And then they said something, the teacher said something in the Kabbalah, it says that basically you cannot be depressed and also helping people at the same time. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, so for a lot of people who are depressed, maybe they're just not helping people. Maybe for all the depression that there is in the world, there's just not enough people connecting with other people helping other people, right? And I really believe that because there's no way if you are helping someone just like you and you're getting that feedback, right? You feel an energy move through you. You feel a life force again. You feel a reason for existence. You know what I mean? And so I really believe that the ancient texts, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And shifting this energy and creating a little bit, because when you give something good, the good comes back to you, right? So if you are down, depressed, and you do something good, the energy bounce back. That is a more positive and can lift you up. And yeah, it's this grid, good energy karma grid is just such a simple, beautiful grid.
That's why Asians, I don't know if Polish people do this, but this is why Asians always fight for the bill. Yeah, if you look online, look up Asian or Chinese people fighting for the restaurant bill.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes people will get in fist fights, people will sneak off to go to the bathroom and then pay the bill because it's such a good feeling, to be able to be oh, I paid for this meal for everybody and we had such a good time. It just feels so good,
Yeah. I feel I am that's not Polish experience. I feel I just had a Polish experience dinner and I was asking for a week to chip into that dinner because that's how we set it up, that everybody's going to chip in.
Yeah. That's how we do it too, right? In the States, it is what it is. Because it's not as fun if you don't have someone to fight with.
Yeah.
So if I'm with a non-Asian person, I'm not going to fight for the bill. It's just not as fun.
That's true. Yeah, I love that. Definitely something in it. And I think that's kind of beautifully segue as to another thought, because I think I really wanted in our conversation, I was just looking at all the things lately you were saying and previously, and I just wanted to really have our conversation to pull up everything that can help us at this moment and shift our thinking and energy and looking at this times that are definitely, interesting, talking about not sending specific energy to the thing. But you were talking about something that I also agree with so deeply, about this idea that, even though it doesn't feel like it, the positive forces and the light is already winning, and that anything that is going on right now is a proof of that. Do you want to share a little bit more of that about it? Because I think it's, again, one of this way of approaching and reframing current situation. And I think it's true, but it's also like how we frame it for ourselves in the thinking, that it allows us to see it differently in the actual, like an actual light, in like a positive light.
Yeah.
Literally.
And it took me a while to get there, right? So everything, if we want to see more light, we just do more healing. We just do more
Yeah.
shadow work. That's basically like life. That's, everyone, if you want to see more optimism, if you want to see more good in the world, just do the healing of the parts of you that are hurt, that are scared, that are in fear mode. And then naturally, you'll just begin to see more light. Like all this light is coming in right now from my window. And so like it took me a while to get there, because I had heard from, like various, people that, oh, the light has won, the light has won. I was like, the light has won? How, are you in the same world that I am in? And then I realized like, oh, I'm in my very reactive, fear-based reality, right? Which is just my mind, because the mind looks at everything and it's always kind of anxious and a little worried. And the ego is like trying to control how you see the world. And it's usually fear-based. And then I was like, I just need to take a breath and move away from my mind and into my heart. And I did this for a little while. And then it was this realization that, yeah, the reason, because I did know that the world felt different. So, the solar flares and the energy is different. People feel different. And I do feel like there is more openness, more love, more like I can see you as part of me now, right? Like I can see like how we're all connected, and a big thanks to technology. And then I was like, yeah, so the reason why we're able to see all this darkness, like it's not hidden anymore, is because the light. It's because, like, let's say you're in a dark room and you're looking for your keys or something, right? You have a little flashlight and you're like, I'm never going to find my keys. This is impossible. I'm never going to find my keys. But then someone comes in and turns on the light in the room and you're like, oh, there they are right there, right? But the thing is, like right now, because there was so much darkness, like covering the truth, we have to see the darkness. Like we have to do the shadow work before everyone else can see the light, before everyone else can kind of be at this similar vibration. And so we're looking at structures that have always been there. Slavery, unfortunately, still exists to this day. And human trafficking, unfortunately, has always existed. And so we're just looking at like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is beneath our noses. It's like part of government, right? It's part of like the people who like rule the world. And it's kind of crazy. But the fact that we see it all means that we all are now conscious of it. And we all get to basically collectively make decisions on, do we want this to continue, or do we want to build a new world? And as we're talking, Saturn and Neptune are going to be in Aquarius at the 0 degree, which basically is a world point. This is February 20th.
Today? And yes.
Tomorrow.
It's
basically happening. So it's literally like the spark of a new civilization. So I don't know what's going to happen, like, I don't know, but it's literally like, why is it that before the new civilization starts, we see everything? It's because like it's all perfectly planned so that we can make collective choices for the world that we really want to live in. But there won't be stuff hiding anymore. And actually a part of the fire element is transparency. People can't hide. Like even like you or I listening, like if we have stuff we want to hide, it's going to come out at some point. So just know that, everybody, right?
That's what I'm talking about, everything in my life, because it's like, it's going to go all out anyway at some point.
Exactly. It's kind of like you hold a secret and then maybe for a few years, like everyone keeps a secret, but then one day like it comes out and you're like, how did that happen? I tried so hard. But anyway, so like the world, the new civilization is going to be built on transparency, and technology is really going to enable us to do that, right? And so like, I think that the light winning just means that more people are conscious. They have the light of consciousness now more than ever before. Well, hopefully we don't choose to go back to the way that things used to be, and we choose more transparency, more collective good, right? We choose less of this separation of power. Like, why do people, like 1% of the people own, like 60 or 70% of the stock market or something? It's like, or the wealth, like it's kind of crazy, right? The middle class is shrinking. I feel like because we all see this now, like we can't unsee it, that we're going to create structures different. The pendulum is going to swing in the other direction. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting. But we are really living in very historic, important times.
I know. I sometimes feel like I don't know if we're all full aware, but I feel it like every day. How incredible are these times to be the part of this transition and that change and that understanding, that awakening. It's just amazing. I just feel like very, very privileged to be
Yes,
honest.
and I feel like if you're a woman and you're middle-aged or so,
Yeah.
there's like a really important, it's going to happen more around 2027, like where we have to really step in and be like, okay,
Yeah.
you guys, we have wisdom and we are going to be the ones who really are informing and guiding and kind of like leading the change, right? Because like we're at that perfect spot where we have lived experience and we're also really connected to the other generation because maybe they're our kids or whatever, right? And so like the matriarchs, people talk about matriarchy, like it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I love this, your comparison to kind of like when you are going to the basement with the lighter and like you light up things and then you see them, right? I love it because that's how it feels, right? I always feel that like I don't want to diminish all the issues we are dealing with, but it's kind of like, remember when we used to fly and smoke not that I was doing it. I was too little of a kid, but I remember going to lucky me with my wealthy neighbor to Paris who took me once. And I remember seeing people smoking on the plane. And
Yeah.
I thought it
The
was so
airport.
bizarre
Yeah.
then. And can you imagine seeing, but we woke up and now nobody even
Oh,
like, it was so normal. It was so normal. And again, I don't want to diminish it and comparing it to like smoking on the plane, but this is this structure and this kind of how it works, right? We woke
people
up
used
to
to smoke while
something,
pregnant.
drink while pregnant. Right now it's like, what? Like mind blowing. But it
Yeah.
was so normal. And again, obviously abusing kids and doing stuff like that, it's not normal, but we were not even aware, conscious of it. Now we are conscious, aware, it's in the light, right? And then we can deal with it and understand it and cut it out and say no more of that, to your point, right?
Yes.
But I love that. And going back to Kabbalah, God, it's coming up strong
Tell me.
today that according to Kabbalah beliefs, the darkness is actually excess of light. So there is so much light that wants to come through, which is also, and I'm getting chills right now, which is also like a beautiful thing to understand that there's so much light that wants to go through to this world and make it better, that the darkness is almost illuminated, right? Like it's even more prominent because it's like too much of this light. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe that's why it feels so strong right now and so loud, because there's just so much more beautiful light that is coming through and it's ready.
Yeah, and we have to, there's beauty in the darkness too. The darkness is the womb. The darkness is that shadow part of us, which is also good things, not only bad things, right? It's the brilliant part of us that we got criticized for. And so we're like, oh, I'm not a good singer or writer or whatever, right? So in the shadow, there's a lot of really, really good things. And I think more people are seeing that, there's a balance. And when we heal these parts of us, it's not that sometimes they go away, because I feel like whenever I do healing, sometimes, I don't feel it as much, but I still, actually, those parts of me are still there. Those hurt parts of me are still there, but they're just existing better. They're just happier. They feel safer. So we can hold darkness and light and it creates this like beautiful, healthy flow. Whereas if it's just darkness, sitting in darkness, covered with shame and we put it away, that's when it can really hurt us, right? That's when it can really
Yeah.
take over subconsciously.
And yeah, and that's how it can grow and expand, right? Like when you add darkness to darkness, just saying it simple. But also understanding, I feel like you are bringing in a really good point that I'm often like in the context of myself, as I am like still growing, still healing as a person, as I will always do throughout my life, right? Here on earth, is this understanding that there are dark parts of ourselves that we need to start loving and accepting, and they may never disappear. This is the moment when they become less powerful, when they are just like sitting in the corner, right? And it's just like this is my thing, but like understanding those parts of you.
Yes.
And I think this year for me was very much like this, to kind of become a best friend with my darkness, because I'm not going to pretend here and sit here that I'm a saint and I'm perfect and I am this and that. I'm always coming from a standpoint of authenticity. I may not share certain things until I process them and go
Yeah.
through them. But this year, and I think I will be sharing more on this podcast this year, it was very much about discovering my darkness and becoming friend with it, like discovering in a very safe environment and understanding it, how it works when it shows up, what does it mean, how it can be tamed. And like, obviously I'm not enjoying to be in my dark side, right? Or expanding it. So it's also, I think, that part that you were talking about, like just becoming accepting and becoming a good friend with your darker side, because we all have, like we wouldn't be light without having a little bit of the shadow.
I like what you said, be friends with, because a lot of times our darker sides, our shadow, the stuff that the part of us that we repress, a lot of times those are really powerful parts because they're the fighter, they're the warrior, they're the part of us that, was too loud, telling too much truth when we were a kid. And then like people were like, stop talking, shut up, whatever. And so like that energy is actually very connected to truth and it's very powerful. So like a lot of times when we look at those parts of us who, for women especially, a lot of us are people pleasers because we had to be, and we're taught to take care of everybody else. But there's a part of us that's always like a rebel and it's like, I don't want to do this. Like I want to do this. And we quiet her down because that's not nice. But actually, if we embrace her more, guess what? Your partner probably likes that a little bit more about you, right? And your kids, they're gonna be like, yeah, awesome. Like I'm learning from mom how she needs her own time, how she wants to do things too, how she needs to get away from us so that she can replenish. And so like embracing those parts of us are actually like a gift for us and a lot of times other people, because otherwise, and I was taught to be a super people pleaser. My mom's super, because you had to be, back in the day, especially in traditional cultures, but then I never realized like, oh, maybe my husband married me because I also have that rebel energy of I know what I want, but I forgot about that almost. Right. And I had to kind of find her again. And so I think that beauty of reconnecting with your shadow, you just feel more complete. Not all the time. Sometimes it's still really uncomfortable, but I find for me, a lot of those aspects, it gives me more creativity. It gives me more ability to put boundaries for my work. And that makes my time and energy more valuable, so it's like kind of a win-win.
Yeah. It's like you feel like you serving somebody or the world, being a good girl and like always agreeing and pleasing, but really it's a gigantic disservice. Circling it back to the authentic fiery horse who always knows, what the heart wants and where it is, right? Like there's no more of that can, because it's not serving anybody, and especially energy of which we are dealing with.
Yeah, it'll be very uncomfortable. So for people, and we're all doing this too, like nobody's perfectly aligned. But when you make decisions that are more feeding into your fear, like, oh, I need to stay at this job because whatever, or I need to continue doing things as it, because of like, you're going to have instant feedback almost. It's going to feel like super uncomfortable. And when we deny truth, because remember, fire is authenticity, right? It burns away untruth. When we deny the truth, we're going to almost get instant feedback. And so a lot of people are going to be pushed to really find alignment, and it's not going to feel comfortable. It just isn't. So just don't expect to feel comfortable this year, for real.
Yeah. And this idea of comes to me when you're talking about it, this idea of just because there's a momentary discomfort, because discomfort is a momentary thing. It's not something that you will stay in forever, right? Like understanding that and not looking for this instant fixes. Yeah. This is my worry that there is, that we love as people, and I am a part of it, trust me, when we liked the comfort and instant gratification and fixing things fast. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have to be fast, but it's sometimes like, the discomfort needs to happen, the reflection needs to happen, and then the new action or whatever new approach to life or work, whatever you're doing with, right, comes in. So that's one thing. It comes up when you're saying it to remember about.
Yes, that's true.
Anna, I can talk to you forever. Literally, like another way, identity is coming up for me with you. Like, we were talking so many times about like creating new identity. And lately this thought comes up, and I just want to just quickly before we end, get your brain on it. Like how we are talking about like getting this new identity. I really feel like almost a new person. Again, my core is the same, but I express different way that is more aligned with the core that is inside me. And it's kind of like a new identity, but it's never a new identity. It's just, which,
There you go.
oh my God, a fire horse.
You literally went into your identity, disappeared and came back.
Hopefully it recorded.
I would start with identity again in case you need to.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about this idea of identity, right? It's a new identity, but it's really not. How I feel right now is like how I was born. Like I came back to myself and it never was new. It's new because it's new to me right now, but really it's like a very old thing. And this is how I was and supposed to be,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on some level, I like that it's a new identity, but I also want people to understand that when you start feeling good in yourself, within your body, what you do, how you do it, it's not a new identity. It's just the alignment of the identity that is yours, that always was yours. So it's not really new. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. You're like refinding yourself. And I think that's because we come in and then we kind of like forget ourselves because
Yes,
we feed into
exactly.
society and, our families. And it's like, oh, no, you can't do this. You have to do this, right? You can't talk so much. You have to be quiet. You can't be an artist. You have to, I don't know, be a doctor, whatever. And so like we kind of go like all the way around this circuitous path. And then one day you're like, no, let me find myself again. And then isn't it like the most rewarding moments when you
It
learn
is.
about yourself more and you start doing things that you used to love doing? And you're just like, wow, this is so great. It's like you're finding yourself for the first time, but it's like you're different. You're more mature. You have more skills and resources. And you're like, wow, I really see like this bigger picture of who I am. That's great. That's complete authenticity, like
Yeah.
that's like the
Yeah.
hero journey.
Yeah, but my whole point, exactly what you're saying, but also understanding like some people may be scared of a new identity. What I mean, it's never a new identity. If it's starting to feel really good, and really aligned, and really like comfortable as yourself and yourself, that's just the new old identity, the core you, right? That is coming through at certain point, and it's here.
Yes, because I think when I hear people say new identity, they usually think of like, oh, I'm my more abundant self. I'm my more visible or expressive or successful or healthier self.
Yeah.
Back to what you're saying, like at our core, we're all that. We're always that. If we didn't take on those belief systems that, the whole world teaches us like, no, actually there's a lot of scarcity and you have to fight and work really hard forever. Like actually, like if we forget that and we come back to the truth, yeah, you are abundant. You're a powerful, infinite being. You can manifest abundance like that, right? You could choose to see the world as an abundant resource place. And then you will see that, oh, wow, I actually have everything that I need. So like, you're right. Even like everything is just coming back to the truth of who you are before we were brainwashed.
Yeah, exactly. Anna, what are you working on? What is the new thing you are offering? Where people can, I obviously am going to link everything, but is there anything new you are offering, how people can connect and work with you? Besides all the beautiful wisdoms you share on TikTok and on Instagram, I just love it. Going back to the women, with kids, are you in your 40s or you're in your late 30s?
I am 40. I'm 40.
40. Okay. So you just welcome. Oh my God.
Yay.
Best club ever. Over 40 is the best club ever.
I know, right?
Talking about wise women sharing their wisdom on social media and wherever, right? So where else are you sharing it?
Yes. Also on Substack. So I've been writing a lot. That's me returning to kind of my original identity, which is like, I always loved writing, but I never thought I could do it for some reason. So I just like started Substack. And that's where I write out a lot of my ideas and stuff. So if people are interested, they can check out there. And sometimes I do Substack lives. So that's a fun thing.
There are Substack lives?
I know.
I didn't even know.
I just found this out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Any classes or any courses or anything coming up from you?
Well, yeah, I'm running a program right now where, and this is something I'm very fired up about, where I'm helping people who are healers and creatives like really create content for their audience. Because I think a lot of times, especially when you're 40s and above, we grew up with a different social media than what it is now. And so now like I've had the success that I've had because I just create lots of reels, and my reels are not fancy. It's usually me in my car, but it's like even people who have such deep wisdom. So people who have studied what they're doing for decades, but if you can't express it on social media, like really it doesn't matter because like these kids who didn't study the thing, but they're good at social media, they're kind of getting all the attention, but people need your medicine. And so I'm really fired up about people who especially are healers or help humanity in some way, are creatives. You need to be out here creating content. So please, this is my message to you. I have like a little cohort that I'm doing now. Maybe I'll run it again. But right now we're having a lot of fun. But the point is like you need to create content and the best way to do it is, Instagram Reels, create some trial reels, just talk in front of the camera. It's really low tech. My phone is an iPhone. You don't need a lot of tech. You just need to actually be the face of your work. And it takes time to get used to it, but it's really your core responsibility because people don't consume media the way that we kind of like started doing it, a few years ago. Like they're
Yeah.
not really looking at like beautiful pictures or whatever. It's like they need to connect with a person, especially now there's AI everywhere. And so you need to learn how to communicate for the times right now, which is speaking in front of your phone or a camera. Just do it.
Yeah, I love it. I think I remember one of your tips was something about like if you are a masseuse and you're talking about your masseuse practice, like instead of saying like and it's good for stress and anxiety, like telling a story of actual client, right, who came and is a stressed mother full of anxiety and had a pain in her shoulder from carrying groceries and and then we work on this shoulder and right. I remember the
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah.
the like creating connection, right? Okay, I can like how dry is like it's good for stress and anxiety versus how my God, like I am carrying groceries and a car seat sometimes, and I am that mom, and oh my God, my shoulder and my muscles, right? Like you just connect with the story, with like experience versus just dry points.
Yes,
Yeah, I love it.
exactly.
I
It's just
should probably sign up for your next one.
you don't need it. But it's really like you're right. It's like you're just communicating in a different way because we're used to like, oh, I need to put on all the positive points about what I do and all the outcomes. But right now, what's important is connection. So you have to really like think about and connect to with your heart, your core client, audience, customer, student, whatever it is. And you really feel like, oh, wow, I really feel like my client is really struggling with shoulder pain. And I also feel like they're having a lot of anxiety. Maybe you see clients right now who have a lot of anxiety and social shoulder pain. And then you might just start off with a connection. You just start off the reel or the video with something like, I know you feel like, you're carrying the world on your shoulders. I know sometimes it feels too heavy, probably. I know that, it's like
Yeah.
you're trying your hardest, but your kids are just not listening to you and it's very stressful at work and you hold your attention here and here's what you need to do. We need to relax. And here's, maybe you can even share like, here's a method that you can do to relax right now. And I see a lot of patience with this, right? If you want to come in and be in a loving environment, I will take care of you. Like, how much better does that sound? It's so simple, but it's something that if me and you were in person, like I would probably say that to you. You know what I mean? And so it's
Yeah.
really for people to understand that that's how people want you to talk to them right now. Like as if you were like face to face and you're speaking to me like a real person. Because before we used to be able to hide behind professional
Yeah.
logos and photos and professional corporate talk and whatever. Everyone had to do that. But now it's like the opposite. Like you can't do that.
It's this humanity, this authenticity, this fire horse we are talking about, which
Hmm.
brings me an amazing idea for my next reel about breath work. Because I had a client who came after breakup, and we didn't even know that it was about breakup. And then when he came out of the session, he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know how much stuck things I still didn't process about this breakup." Right? And it's like, who would think, like, he didn't even think that that's what he came about with to release and to work through.
Yeah, but it was affecting him every day.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great story. You just gave me a great idea for
Yeah,
a
and
reel.
we need breath work because it helps us transmute, right, all the stuff. It also helps to ground us. So this is what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. We need healers so bad right now. So like if you are a healer, it is your absolute responsibility to get in the world and to connect with people because so many people need your medicine.
yeah. I don't know how about you, but I am like so about in person or one-on-one work lately. I just like I'm loving it. I see so much transformation like during breathwork sessions or during like even energy I do. Like I'm just like I want to put all my basket in it. I know that like you have to watch out my energy too, but it's just like I'm like so drawn to this like authentic one-on-one connection or a small group connection. I don't know why.
Mhm. Yeah, but they probably need you in real life. They're
Yeah.
also craving you, so you're also craving them, which is perfect. It means, to me, it means that there's like a really, really good synthesis there. Like your people need you, and you're also being energized by them. So
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah. Any books, any podcasts, any tips, any tricks? You know how we always end with anything that you can recommend to me and anybody who is listening. Anything that inspired you lately or is helping you or you are, I don't know, using and it's really shifting
Yes.
something in your life.
Yes, I'm reading the book, Longing for Darkness, and it's about the Buddhist goddess Tara and the Black Madonna. And
Longing
I
for
have it in my
dark.
kitchen. I can run and get it, but it's basically it's an older book, so it was written a few decades ago. But I've been really connecting with the goddess Tara, who is basically a Buddha in Buddhism. So she's the goddess of compassion in action form. So she's the one who like will come and give you help right now, right? You don't need to say a million prayers. You don't need to convert to Buddhism. Like she is literally just, I am your mother and I will help you. Whatever you need, I will protect you. I will bring you resources. I will do whatever. And she has a mantra that I've been saying, and it's just been really really helpful. I think actually that goddess work, basically connecting with a feminine form of source, is so healing on so many levels. It's like your client with breathwork. Like I never thought I needed a god or goddess, but just like connecting with someone like Tara or any, maybe for some people it's Mother Mary or who, because the Black Madonna and Tara, they're like connected, right? There's like this ancient kind of deity worship that, that then was like kind of like squashed. But the fact that there's like a darkness to it. So Black Madonnas, I think they're found in Poland too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, why are there Black Madonnas? So the book kind of explores that. And they say that sometimes it comes from like an older goddess worship that then they just made into Catholicism, to kind of fit the, yeah.
Light it up.
Yeah, exactly. But like and think about it, just like when you kind of connect to like a Black Madonna, there's like a different part of you that feels seen. There's like a different connection.
The
And so
darker one.
yes. Yeah, exactly. There's like almost like more forgiveness versus I only love you if you are perfect. I only love you if you have no sins or whatever. But like she kind of like holds more of who you are, right? And so like I would say that if anyone is looking into just exploring your spirituality, maybe look into Tara, maybe look into seeing God as more of a feminine, divine feminine than a daddy. It shifts everything. It shifts a lot. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to bring this book here, screenshot it for everybody and definitely link it below. Anna, thank you so much. Oh my God, I just want to again thank you. Like I said in my email, like you're always so supportive. You really like walk the talk. And, my podcast is still not as big as I would love to, but you're always there to support me. And
Your podcast is amazing.
And now, what I'm talking about, I got lately so many followers. I really did. Thank you for all your wisdom and sharing your thoughts on social media. Again, like we can make anything of it and you just make it smart, interesting, and wise. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Anna's will take over the world. Put you in a...
What about Anna? I used to don't like my name because like every other person in Poland is named Anna. And now I write my name with such a pride. I was like, oh my God, so much harmony, so much balance, 2 A's, 2 N's.
Yes, exactly. Anywhere you go around the world, people can say your name.
Right. Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me. Happy Fire Horse, everybody.
Happy Fire Horse.